What is going on, guys? It is Sunday. We are back for the NFL playoff showdown here, and we are going to be starting with our first showdown matchup here between the Green Bay Packers and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So, if you are new to this channel, we have everything free that you could be looking for: NHL right now, NFL, soccer, NBA, Euro League. Tons of things going to be coming out. PGA is always on here every week as well. So hit that subscribe button. It means the world to us. And hit that like button if you appreciate the content as well. Especially those of you that have been just kind of like following along all season. Really appreciative of the support. And we will continue to roll this into next year and our other sports as well as we continue to kind of grow here on our YouTube channel. And I am Hold the Door DFS, one of the owners and coaches here at Fantasy Sports Insight. And I always am specializing here in the showdown format. So I'm not really sure why that's not coming up right now, but let's just get into the builds. Green Bay is a slight favorite here at home in cold weather, which I don't want to figure that into it too much because obviously we know Tom Brady can play really well in cold weather too. I do think the combination of like Adams playing in the cold weather with Rodgers has always been really good, and we even saw last week. I watched both all the games, and just the way that the Packers intentionally can get the ball to Adams. Whether it was Ramsey guarding him, whether they ran him in motion at the goal line to kind of confuse St. Louis's defense, and then having a basically wide open touchdown. They just are so creative with getting him the ball that he is incredibly hard to fade. And I'm not going to fade him here on this slate. I think him and Rodgers are locks for me. Let's just start on the Green Bay side. Excuse me. I think those two are locks. I think that Aaron Jones, I am going to fade for two reasons in cash. And the first reason being Tampa Bay has a good run defense. The second reason being that Aaron Jones really, I think, even in that game, let's just double check here how many times he did carry the ball. He carried the ball 14 times, but if you take away the 60-yard run and the 1-yard touchdown, Jamal Williams, I think, had over 10 carries as well. And yes, they had the lead, colder weather. Jamal Williams could have scored like 2 touchdowns that he got tackled at the 1-yard line. So they were giving it to him inside the 5. So I am off Aaron Jones in cash just because I think I would rather utilize my salary on Adams and Rodgers, and then decide on the Tampa Bay side what we're going to do with that. But Lazard had the huge touchdown late in the game to basically just crush his price tag, 50-yard bomb. So I think you can take him again, but I think you are depending on some unusual situation like that to take place in order for him now to even pay off a more expensive price tag at 6,600. So Tanyan at 6,200 is in a similar spot. He's been consistently around double digits, and if he can score a touchdown, which he does have good touchdown equity, he could certainly pay off the 6,200. I think I actually like him. I think he's safer in cash, and if he scores a touchdown, has similar upside. So Valdez-Scantling, what did he come up with last game? 4 catches, 33 yards. So he actually did have a decent amount of volume there. Again, I think they just made it look so easy passing the ball. They just why run that much? But I mean, they had the ball like the entire game, it felt like. So Valdez-Scantling is fine at 5,000. Mason Crosby, I mean, I say that with a grain of salt here because in this colder weather and the fact that Green Bay just tends to go for it so often that I think you can maybe take a step back on him and then just prioritize Suck Up on the other side, who I think just is going to have more field goal equity. But I think both are fine, and usually, again, will grade out as one of the better point per dollar plays. Then we have Jamal Williams at 2,200, who I talked about earlier. 12 carries, 65 yards. Didn't catch a ball, and obviously he can and has in the past. But like I said, he was so close to scoring 1 or 2 touchdowns, and then all of a sudden you have him in double digits. So I think he'll be a pretty popular value play here at 2,200. AJ Dillon did get hurt in the game, but it looks like he will be back. And even he had 6 carries. So I don't really know what the split will be between him and Jamal Williams, but I know that the fact that all three of them, if they're healthy, will take away from somebody like Aaron Jones. So I am off of Aaron Jones here in cash, like I said, but I do think he's viable in GPP. And I think Jamal Williams offers some really nice value if you're not using somebody like Scantling or Crosby for Green Bay. All right, let's get to the Tampa Bay side. As most of you already know, Antonio Brown is out. And actually, if he would have been in, he was 5,800, which was a really nice price tag. But that definitely is going to elevate Godwin and Evans, and not necessarily like elevate them because they were already still getting a significant amount of the targets. But I think you're going to just see more of the value, which I'll get to here in a second, open up with the other part of the receiving core. So Brady, I think, will also be probably my third cash play, and I'll just probably, have to suck it up and just take those top 3 guys and then see if there's a path that I can get to one other stud with some of these punts. Leonard Fournette, 8,400, 17 carries, 63 yards, caught a bunch of balls through the air. I don't really know, what game plan Bruce Arians is bringing into this. Obviously, we knew the first game that their first playoff game, Ronald Jones was kind of a ghost and then was a DNP, didn't play. Last week, he shows up with 13 carries, I believe, 62 yards, had a decent performance. But Fournette has the pass catching upside. If he's going to get a majority of the carries, then I prefer Fournette. Obviously, in this case, Ronald Jones is actually pretty cheap at 5,400, but I probably will just not play either of them because I want to play Brady, Rodgers, and Breeze. But Mike Evans, if you can somehow get back up to him, I think he will be in line for a lot of targets and a lot of volume, along with Chris Godwin, who I actually think I prefer a little bit more because I think, as we saw a little bit with Green Bay last week, that when the temperatures are cold, it's going to be more short passes. Try to get guys some yards after catch. So I think that suits Godwin's prototype as a receiver more than it would someone like Mike Evans. So they did bump up Brate's price, which is unfortunate. He was way too cheap for a while. 4,600. Gronk is fine at 4,400. I think, he might score a touchdown here, just linking up with Brady. Suck up at 3,600 is viable as well. Like I said, I just think he has more upside and field goal equity. I think they are more likely to kick field goals, where I feel like Green Bay is just putting the pedal to the metal almost all the time and rarely punting or using their special teams at all. So here's going to be where there's uncertainty, but also value. So Miller, I think Scotty Miller had a really good season. And a lot of times it was when one of Evans or Godwin was injured. Well, now they brought in Antonio Brown. Now he's injured. So that's going to bring Miller and I think Tyler Johnson, former Gopher, for those that are listening from Minnesota, into the mix here. So Scotty Miller at 1,800. Last game caught 1 ball on 2 targets. And then I believe Tyler Johnson also caught 1 pass for 15 yards. And that was when Antonio Brown didn't come back into the second half. If I go off of what, if we don't hear any reports before tomorrow's slate or today's slate, if you're listening today, that I prefer Miller, but you can play both. Honestly, you could play both, or you could just play one or the other and then pay up. So let's get into some builds. I'm hoping we get a little bit more clarity before this game starts on who's going to be their wide receiver 3. We probably won't because it's the playoffs. Let's just take the cheapest lock. My 3 favorite cash plays are the top 3: Brady, Rodgers, and Adams. I think if you wanted to somehow get off of Brady and go to Godwin and you're still getting access to the passing game, I think that's fine. So right here, we are at $3,700 left per player. Now, this is where it gets interesting. If we plug in somebody like Miller, and now we're at 47.50 left per player. If you go suck up, that gets you up to 59. So it gets you up to like Ronald Jones, Scantling range. If you want to go, say Jamal Williams and Scotty Miller, that's going to get you almost up to Godwin. That's going to get you to Lazard. That's where I think then you commit to either going down to Tyler Johnson. Let's see, where is Tyler Johnson? Commit to somebody like Tyler Johnson, and then your options are endless. Like if you want Godwin, you can actually then go even upgrade your captain. You could even upgrade it back to Devontae Adams, I believe. Yeah, you could easily do that. You could mix in. You could actually, if you didn't want both the receivers, then here you could still play Jamal Williams, and then still play somebody like Tom Brady. So there's a lot of value. I think the popular values are going to be Miller, Jamal Williams, Suckup, and Jamal and Tyler Johnson. So how you rearrange those and how you work those out, I think what's great is that it's going to give you an opportunity to get up to somebody like Evans, Godwin, or Fournette. So I can't see a way that it's going to get me up to Aaron Jones unless I punt at captain, which I likely will not do. But I think these situations are going to give you an option to get a fourth stud. So, and on this slate, I think that will be really important. So thanks again for listening. Hit that like button. Check out our other content. NHL content today is out for a 7-game slate. NFL content for the Bills and Chiefs is out as well. So check out those things on our channel. Thanks for listening. See ya later.